we play. How I'd rather do that instead. I keep screaming out loud from the top of my lungs, baby, ooh. Think about the stuff we play. How I'd rather do that instead. I keep screaming out loud from the top of my lungs, baby, ooh. Think about the stuff we play. How I'd rather do that instead. I keep screaming out loud from the top of my lungs, baby.
Yo, 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 yo. What's up, YouTube? What's up, Facebook land? It's your boy JD, aka Mr. December. We back with another live stream, y'all. Listen. Are y'all surprised to see me tonight? This ain't our regular night, but we decided to pop up on a Thursday night, you feel me? And y'all, listen, this is gonna be an awesome, awesome discussion. So what I need y'all to do, please go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And I want you to share this video. I promise you, you will get some value out of it. And I want everybody connected to you to get some value out of it too. Yo, my first guest on tonight. We're going to jump right into it. Y'all have seen it here before. Y'all say what up to Chantel. Say something to the people, Chantel. Yeah,
All right, nice. Hey guys, thank you so much for having me, JD. Looking forward to this conversation.
Listen, we about to jump into it. I see you over there. How was your Memorial Day weekend?
It was good. So I spent it with family. Loki did not know it was Memorial Day weekend though.
Yo, I feel you. I feel you. It's all good. It's all good. What's going on? I don't know. Who is this? Let me see if I can find out who this is. Oh, Antoinette, what's going on, Antoinette? Thank you so much for joining us. Listen, I'm going to be dropping the link a little bit later toward the end of the show, but we're going to jump right into it. Now, y'all are looking at the title. Y'all seen the thumbnail. We're talking about courting versus dating, right? And I'm going to just go ahead and tell y'all how I feel about it because I got some pretty strong feelings about it. Y'all, dating is a waste of time. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of resources, right? And I think that everybody's mind has gotten like really, really messed up to think that dating for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years is a requirement before you get married, right? But you know, back in the day, it wasn't always like that, right? Nobody dated for a year and a half, then went through a year and a half engagement, and then got married 6 months after that, right? You didn't see that. So I think that people have gotten their minds messed up. I know Chantel talks about it a lot over on her channel. And if y'all haven't subscribed to Chantel's channel, I really don't know what you're doing. She has some excellent content over there. Y'all go check out. But yeah, I think that people's mind have gotten messed up. And over on Chantel's channel, she says a lot. Why pay if you can get the milk for free, right? That's what you say, right?
Why buy the cow if you get the milk for free?
There you go. There you go. That's it. Why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free? You understand what I'm saying? And I think that this has kind of messed up the community a little bit because let's just be honest. We're gonna call it a spade tonight. Let's just be honest. Back in the day, people got married so they could have sex, right? Because everybody was so big on not fornicating and premarital sex and having children out of wedlock, right? That was something you absolutely did not do. But as time progressed, and you know, the feminist movement, it had a lot to do with it. You understand what I'm saying? And I really want somebody to challenge me on this. I don't know who's going to challenge me on it, but I really want somebody to challenge me on this. The feminist movement kind of, you know, pushed this stuff along. We heard a lot about how was it the Cosmopolitan magazine, the lady that
Mhm. Mhm.
that was publishing that magazine came out later. I heard it out of her own mouth said that she was lying to women.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And y'all know I got my exhibits. I got my exhibits, and we're gonna get into them in just a little bit. But Chantel, I want to know from you, what do you think about this dynamic uh, of dating versus courting? What do you think?
So I think the difference between dating and courting is courting, you do it with intention. So
Mhm.
courting, you do it with a goal in mind. Dating, you just do it just to see what's out there and have fun. And I would agree that it's a waste of time because we only got one life to live. You don't really have much time to be having fun. And I think in this day and age, in this culture, the feminist movement told a lot of women like, oh, your 20s, you should just enjoy your 20s, don't settle down. But then they don't tell the flip side of that. If you enjoy your 20s too much, time is going to run out, right? You cannot avoid the wall. You are going to hit the wall, and the wall meaning high risk pregnancy starts and your eggs are no longer there. You no longer have no more eggs, right?
Mhm.
I mean, I think we like to avoid that conversation. Women think that they have eternity, but no, like at a certain point you run out of eggs to reproduce and have kids. So I think dating encourages us to waste a lot of time. It encourages men to waste a lot of money and resources, and it encourages women to waste a lot of time. So I'm all for courting if by the first interaction we're not on the same page with the outcome, then I just move on because then over the course.
I need you to say that one more time for the people in the back.
The people in the back. No, but it's true though. After the first interaction, I meet someone, you're attracted to them, and you say, hey, do you want marriage? But some people be dating for months, years even, and they don't realize that they're not on the same page with their expectations. That's a huge waste of time.
Right, a huge waste of time. Uh, and I was talking to somebody on Facebook earlier today. She was saying how basically there's no good men left. All of them are either married, too busy. The same stuff you always hear: down low,
Mhm.
broke, dusty, all that stuff. And somebody said that she had been dating someone. Well, not dating. You might as well call it what it is. They were shacking up, really, playing house, right?
Mhm.
And I think they were together like 12 plus years, and he still had not proposed to her yet, right? And then mad because now she's wasted all this time. But when did you realize you were wasting all this time and you're one of
Exactly.
year 12? You understand what I'm saying? And then I think that some people also they get in they get in the habit of having to be with somebody all the time, right? And then
Mhm.
a lot of when things start to go south, I mean, y'all, I'm guilty of it too, right? Sometimes we see those red flags. You feel me? And we choose to ignore them anyway. Think,
Mhm.
oh, well, maybe I
Mhm.
can change her. Maybe it'll work out. Maybe she'll
Mhm.
get
Mhm.
better. And
Mhm. Mhm.
listen, when people show you who they are, you might as well go ahead and believe them. Chantel,
Exactly.
have you had an experience like that?
Hell yeah. What? Yeah. Of course. I've been in situations and the last time I wasted time, someone had warned me and said, 1 year I was wasting time for a year, and someone had said, 1 year turns into 10 years real fast. And that
Mm,
woke me up, right? Because you're comfortable with the person already know you, you already know him or her, and it's like you get comfortable. You don't want to, because dating sucks. Let's be real. Dating sucks.
mm,
Nobody wants to be out here dating. So you meet somebody, even though y'all not aligned with your intentions, you're like, okay, this is good enough for now. And then
mm,
before you know it, when you look up, 10 years pass, like the young lady's situation, 12 years pass, and there's nothing worse than looking back and realizing that you wasted time. Like there's absolutely nothing worse than that. So I think we lack intention. And when we enter these relationship, dating, courting, whatever you want to call it, we lack intention and we lack like clear expectation and having the conversation. And then also too, women just love to blame men. We love to blame men like, oh, these no good.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
think about it though. We love to say men don't want to commit and men don't want to be men, but we're the ones who stay in the. He wasn't holding us captive. We could leave the relationship if we wanted, but we don't want to admit that. Hey, yeah, I was comfortable in this relationship.
Right. Right. I think that one of the key things that's going to help the community out more is if we start learning this dynamic of intention, right?
Mhm.
But the problem is, like you said, we've been taught not to settle down early,
Oh,
right?
too
In
early,
our
yeah.
20s, right? You
Mhm.
know, our grandparents were married, what, sometimes 15, 16 years old,
Mhm.
17,
Mhm.
before they were 20, typically they were married and already had a child or two, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And they did not date before they got together. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Let me read the definition of courting, right?
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
says to be involved romantically, typically with the intention of marrying, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I want to know from you, Chantel, what do you think the timeline is uh, when it comes to courting? What do you think is a reasonable time frame to go from courting to marriage?
So courting in terms of when you initially met the person, or courting in terms of when you say, okay, we're courting now.
From the time you say, "Oh, now we're courting now."
Okay, so if you're keeping into consideration that you knew a little bit about the person before you guys decided that you're gonna court, I would say 6 years, not 6 years, sorry. 6 months to a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's fair too. Once you get a certain age, and once you get your mindset, and you know
Mhm.
what you want and who you are and self aware, for the men, typically, it's not going to take a man more than a year to propose,
Mhm. Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And let's just say, uh, Chantel, let's just say me and you were getting together, courting, right? And
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
tell you from the beginning, yo, I got the intention of marrying you, yo. We're gonna court, right? And we're gonna get married within
Mhm.
a year's time. No more than a year, we're gonna get married, right? So if that year comes around and you realize I was capping,
Mhm.
what should you
Mhm.
do?
I can leave you.
But see, that's the mindset that everybody, men and women, need to get back into or get into, right?
Mhm.
If we haven't talked about marriage after a year of being together,
Yeah.
we
I'm
don't.
loving this. I'm loving these songs.
You love the sound? I got
Yeah.
more. I got more. Your boy got more. But yeah, if you've been with somebody for a year, right? You on
Mhm.
date number 366, man or woman. If you have not talked about marriage, or if every time they start, you want to bring up marriage and talk marriage, and they deflect and ignore the conversation, brush it up under the rug, that should
Mhm.
tell you
Mhm.
everything you need to know right there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but why do people? And I know it's a fear of starting over.
Yeah. Yeah.
We sometimes we hate starting over, but I promise you, you'll get used to it. You'll build up a little callous to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
But it's
Chantel.
it's not it's not only that though. I think the year is very, like, having a conversation a year, but I strongly believe you should have the conversation before you jump in the relationship,
Mm,
because it's like if you wait until the year and then you try to have a conversation about marriage, and then you found out that the person that you're with does not want to get married, that's something you could have been of, like, that's a year. You could have not wasted because you're in a relationship with someone who doesn't want to get married. So I think conversations just such as how soon do you want to get married, how soon you think is too soon, how long you think it takes to know somebody. I think these are all like third date
Mm.
um conversations, but we try to avoid it because the feminist movement told us that we shouldn't look too desperate.
Right, right. Yo, that hurts us. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you feeling somebody and you vibing with somebody, why not go for it? Especially if you 30 plus. You know what I'm saying? If you 30 plus, yo, we
Yeah,
talking business. If you 30 plus, like don't even we
yeah,
talking
yeah.
business now. Oh Lord, and I'm 35. Let's not even talk about 35 yet. I mean, whew, yeah, we signing contracts over here. You feel me? But yeah, I think that I think that you're absolutely right. These are conversations that you need to have up front because
Mhm.
that means that's what it means to be intentional about your time
Mhm.
and about your dating, right?
Mhm.
So
Yes.
I wonder if we get back to courting, will that help men and women vet better?
Yeah, because there it will limit the let's see where this goes mindset. So if like for example, if you're approaching the relationship in a mindset of I'm just dating, so I'm just seeing where it goes, you're not gonna really keep your deal breakers
Mm-hmm.
at the in the forefront because you're like, okay, right, it's just seeing where it goes. Whereas opposed to courting, where you're intentional, you're leading with your deal breakers, you're leading with what you cannot tolerate,
Mm-hmm.
or what you don't want to tolerate. So I think it will definitely, if we move with intention, we'll definitely vet better. But JD, the issue comes up where I think many of us don't know how to vet, so we don't know what to look for.
There you go. There you go. And see, that's why we have spaces like these, so you can kind
Mhm.
of know what to
Mhm.
look for. And then, if this was something that was passed down more, I
Mhm.
believe it would save us a lot of heartache and heartbreak because you know we had to learn by bumping our head a little bit. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So if it's something to where at least we can have some kind of warning about it, right? Then I
Mhm.
believe that would save us a lot of uh, heartache for one, a lot of disappointment, a lot of trauma, all of the above. I think that if your parents tell you that the stove is hot and you touch it anyway, oh yeah, I ain't gonna do that no more. But if you just
Yeah.
go try to figure it out, by
Yeah.
yourself, you might
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
might try to go back. Well, let me touch it again. Let me do.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. Yeah.
After your parents whoop your butt, after that, you understand what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
Chantel, I want you to help me with something
Mhm.
because you said before that you kind of had to change your friend group, right?
Mhm.
The people that you used to hang around versus the people that you hang around now. Have you seen a difference in the caliber of men that's around you and your friends now compared to the caliber of men that you used to see around you and your friends?
Well, yes. The caliber of men that I would entertain in the past would be men who aren't intentional, men who aren't assertive and who aren't decisive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they would fall into, oh yeah, let's just see where it goes too, right? And that's not a good leader, seeing where it goes, right? But now with me being intentional and me being like direct with, you know, courting, I
Mm-hmm.
find, yeah, there's a different, because and then also too, men who want to play games will fall off if they realize, you're not playing games. So if on the third date I'm asking you directly, oh, so what are your intentions, marriage, and he just want to see where it goes, those questions are going to get him uncomfortable.
Mm. Right, right. Are y'all hearing what Chantel is saying? Y'all better be taking notes, man. Y'all better be taking notes. She dropping gems over here, and it's the same thing. Let me tell you a little story. Um, at one point, uh, I was dating this lady, right? And it didn't start off long distance, but it ended up long distance, right?
Mhm.
And the conversation of marriage was on the table, right? And with me getting older and my mindset starting to change by being in spaces like these, I asked the question after a while. It kind of started getting swept up under the rug because I'm gonna just be honest with you. I know what I want, right?
Mhm.
And it's
Mhm.
only a certain amount of stuff that I'm gonna put up with. I'm a nice guy. I really am. I'm a nice guy, but I'll cut it short, like just like that, and not have anything to say about it. But it got to the point to where I was like, you know what? Where do you see
Mhm. Mhm.
us in the next 2 or 3 years, right? Kind of asking the question without directly asking
Mhm.
the question. Do you know she told me she didn't know?
Mhm.
Chantel, I had to dip after that. Because usually, ladies, they'll jump at the bit, you know what I'm saying, when
Yeah.
she start
Yeah.
talking about marriage, right? But
Yeah.
now, hey, shout out to Eugene Steele. He's saying hey to you, Chantel.
Hey. You.
Thank you for joining us. But yeah, I had to cut it short after that. But do you think that some women, if they come across a man that's intentional, because what I'm finding out is that it's more men now wanting to have families and wanting to have a legacy, and that means something to them, right? And they're
Mhm.
kind of trying to be careful about the way they move because maybe they got burned by baby mama drama or something,
Mhm.
once before now. But I think that, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or not. I think that a lot of women are they like the idea of marriage, right? But they don't they get scared when a man is, like you said, assertive, when a man is decisive, when he knows what he wants, and everything else you just named, right?
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
that intimidates a lot of
Mhm.
women because it's like, oh snap, this is something I ain't never had before, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to handle it. So let me just act a doggone fool. What do
Yeah.
you what
Yeah.
do you think?
I think so. I think it goes both ways. Just like how when I said earlier that a lot of men who aren't ready to be men will run at the questions of like, hey, what are your plans? A lot of women who aren't ready to be women will run at that in those situations too. Because if you think about it, if a lady comes across a man who is a man, then that requires her to be a woman. And a lot
Mm-hmm.
of them aren't willing or ready or don't even know what it means to be a woman because you ask any woman what it means to be a woman and they're going to tell you it's though they can give birth and they
Mm-hmm.
have womb and and we all well it seems like it's a very few of us who knows that that's not it, right? That's not the
Mm-hmm.
only thing you're meant to be as a woman. um so in your situation, yeah, I think they are afraid. They say they want marriage, but they want what they see on TV, the
Mm-hmm.
white horse, picket fence, like happiness, but they don't know what it really takes to be a
Mm-hmm.
woman and the what it means to be with a man.
Mm, mm. And on the flip side too, I think that the fact that some women, not all, some women are used to being in control of the relationship so much and being, placed up on this pedestal without having to do really
To do.
anything at
Mhm.
all.
Mhm.
I think that when women come across a man that's like, oh, I just can't
Mhm.
talk to him any kind of way, and then he
Mhm.
gonna buckle
Mhm.
down or bow down. You understand? They'd rather deal with somebody more that they can manipulate. I
More
think.
passive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there
Mhm.
you go, more
Yeah.
passive. So I think that also too, men and women, but we talking about what we're talking about tonight. You feel me? But I think too again that some people, if they get burned once, they're scared of getting burned again. However, uh, they don't put themselves in a position to where they
Hmm.
can meet anybody, but then they want to complain
That
about,
they
oh no, nobody's dating me, nobody's there's no good men out here, da 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 da. What would you say to the women that are the ones that's complaining about there's no good men left? The only ones that approach me are Dusties, Pookies, and Ray Rays. All of them are married. What would you say to those ladies?
okay, so um as long as you know that you are doing your best and you're giving your best and you're showing up as your best, your what you get in return doesn't, like, it shouldn't matter. Not saying it
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't matter, but you're giving your best. So I'll give an example so I'm clear. I'm a personal trainer, so I have a lot of bodybuilder
Mm-hmm.
friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the advice that I would usually give them before get on stage is, win or lose, you did your absolute best. So you did everything that you could do. So win or
Right.
lose is out of your control. Basically the same thing I'll say to these women. Just focus on yourself. Focus on being the best you can be, the best woman that
Mm-hmm.
you can be. Do the internal work. So if you get a good man or not, you can know that it's not because you didn't do your best self. So I say that to say, a lot of women always love to say how there are no good men around. All the good men are either on the down low or married or whatever, but they themselves aren't the best they can be. They aren't showing up the best weight, the best feminine, the best looks, or the best, the best woman that they
Mm-hmm.
can be. So I think that's where the disconnect is. So it's not necessarily that there are no good men around. And even if let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say
Mm-hmm.
there are no good men around, are you a good woman? And a lot of times when we ask those questions, they're not, because again, as
Mm-hmm.
we say, a lot of them said they're a good woman because they got a womb and they can give birth. When, if you really look at it, what it means to be a woman,
Mm-hmm.
they're not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I want to clarify, in case anybody in your audience don't know what I mean by what it means to be a good woman. If you're a woman watching and you get triggered by the word submit or submission or follow a man leadership, then I'm so I am so sorry. That's a clear indication that you are not a woman. You're not a good woman, at least. No
Mm,
disrespect though. It's just I would call
mm.
a spade a spade, right?
You call a spade a spade. Listen, I think that part of the problem is, and I'm so glad you said that. I think that part of the problem is that, and I thought about this earlier, submission means cooperation, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Shout out to Eugene. You must have read Danika's book. Submission is not the enemy. You feel me? That's a good book, by the way. Y'all need to go
Mhm,
pick that up.
mhm.
So, if you think about it, I think part of the reason why a lot of people think that men and women think that submission is a bad word. So, if you think about MMA fighting, right?
Mhm,
When one of the fighters puts the other one in a chokehold or something, and they tap out,
mhm.
it's they're doing it by force, right? They're
Mhm.
they're using their strength and their skill to force somebody into submission, to giving up. Okay, you win the fight. You feel me?
Yeah.
I think that that's the idea that most women, not all, that most women have when it comes to submission. And then I think that sometimes they go back to that movie. I don't like this
Color
movie.
purple.
There you go. They go back to those color purple days, and that's what they think that submission is. Oh, he's going to beat me into submission. You
Mhm,
understand what I'm
mhm.
saying?
Yeah, yeah.
How would you debunk that, or what does submission really mean with a good woman?
Submission is basically following a man's leadership, right? So if we're going to say that we are Christians, although I know some people say that the Bible was manipulated, but if we're going
Mm,
to say that we're Christians and we're going to say we're going to accept that God said it's God, man, woman, then kids, man sub everybody who falls under in that category submits to whoever is above, because the
mhm,
God is the head, God is the leader, then the man submits to God, the woman submits to the man and God, kids submit
mhm,
to the woman. So that's basically what it is. It's like if we think of we're on a road trip, JD, and
mhm.
you're driving, I'm in the passenger seat submitting to your leadership of you driving the vehicle. That, I mean, that's just that honestly is what it is. But it's
Listen.
unfortunate. It's unfortunate how many women, especially black women, get so triggered over a word,
Mhm.
and it's like, okay, it's like it's very juvenile. I'm so sorry if I'm triggering anyone, but it's very juvenile.
Right, right. I tend to agree. But
Hmm.
Chantel, we got to pause the show for a minute, just for a quick minute. We got some help in the background, in the back. What do you call that thing right here? Backstage. Yeah, we got some help backstage, right? So everybody, do me a favor. I want y'all to put your hands together for the lovely Gabrielle White. Say something to the people, Gab.
Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Gab, do you have anything to say to the people?
How are you all doing? I'm
That's
looking
it.
forward to the discussion.
That's it. Anyway, that's good. That's good. That's what's up. I'm so glad you joined us, Gabrielle White. This is a perfect time for you to jump in because we were just talking about submission and why some women think that that's a terrible thing. What do you think? What would you say to kind of debunk that or give a more accurate description of being submissive?
A more accurate description of,
Yeah, so I gave the example right before you came on. Just a matter of fact, when
okay,
you're talking about submission in regards to relationships, right? I was thinking earlier about MMA fighters, right? And how if one fighter puts another one in a chokehold, he
okay,
forces them to tap out, right?
right.
Before, like, yo, I give up. I'm forcing this dude to submit. I win. I think that that's the idea that a lot of women have in their head, and some men actually
Oh,
about
yeah.
submission. What do you think?
So that the word submission, I think, is largely misunderstood. Um, and that's why so many people, men and women, are intimidated by it. Um, I think this perception, like you described, of being put in a chokehold, they envision that it means they're going to lose a sense of control. And they equate the word submission with control, and it almost becomes like a slavery in their mind. And so it's off putting and it's very negative, and they're like, no, they push back against it for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is submission actually that? No, I don't believe so. And I think that if you uh, speak to the right people and get the right information, you can find out that it's actually not. It's highly beneficial to both parties. And it's not this one sided, domineering experience, but actually a dance between two people.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And let me just throw this one out here for free. A man that is on his purpose, that knows what he wants, and a man that wants to court rather than date, he
Okay.
that's the one of the biggest qualities he's going to be looking for in a woman. How well does she communicate? Am I lying or am I right?
I agree.
How well she communicates.
That too. That too.
Wait, what did you say? What
No,
did you
I
say?
said men that know what they want, that would rather court with the intention of getting married. That's one of the biggest qualities that they're going to look for is how cooperative they are.
Oh,
You
oh,
know,
corporate. Okay, okay,
if
okay.
cooperative, if they're willing, right, to be submissive in the marriage or in the relationship. Now, I like what both of y'all said. And matter of fact, in the Facebook group, I believe it was Gabrielle. She posted something fire in the group. Let me bring it. Let me hang on. Let me bring it up. I'm gonna struggle stream just for a second here because I'm trying to look professional and all that good stuff. You feel me? So yeah, let's do it. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Ah, okay.
Gabrielle, you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
Have you seen this before, Chantel?
No, I
No.
haven't.
Well, you
But
about to see.
I know, I know Fantasia's viewpoint on submission, but I haven't seen this particular video.
Well, you about to see it today. Men, let me throw this one out here. You know, people think that I only want to harp on women, but I got to harp on the men too. If you're a man and you think that that's what submission is, then you are wrong. You dead wrong. And it's only you have to be a certain type of man to even have a woman be cooperative and submissive with you. I'm not going to say to you. I'm going to say with you because that's what it really means. So any man that wants to, try to beat on his chest and, try to use finances against, you're not a real man, right? You're not a man that is self-aware, that knows what he wants. That's not what you are. But let's listen to not Chantel, Fantasia, and what's her husband name? Y'all know what her husband name? Y'all know? Gab, you know? Chantel's husband. I mean, Fantasia's husband name. What's his name?
I have
You
no
don't,
idea. I don't know. No.
I don't know his name either. Let's just play it.
Um, we are we talk a lot. I just got home. He just got home. We were in New York for Fashion Week, and then he had to fly out to go speak um, at the prisons, and I had to continue to keep working. So I went up to the Breakfast Club, and I enjoyed it, and wrapping it up and talking, and I was speaking. Yeah. So when I got back home, he had kind of said something that piggybacked off what I was saying, and I thought it was so dope. Like the male and the female should hear.
So here's the issue. Submission is supposed to be a beautiful song and dance between two lovers. What's happened is men have abused that power. Forgive me, they've abused that gift. And we have been misled to think that it's something where it's a dominant spirit and we own every decision, we dictate everything, we rule with an iron fist. First of all, that's not love.
Mm.
What happens is in my marriage, let me not speak for everybody, my marriage, I submit daily to the Most High. I stay in my scriptures. I continue to feed myself with things that help me build my character, to reshape my perspective that was messed up in the streets and dealing with different propaganda and programming and things like that, so that I can come to my wife from a pure position.
Mm.
So when I do that and she sees me and she witnesses over time that it's an authentic demonstration, her heart is moved and softened and compelled to submit to me.
Yeah.
What does that look like? That doesn't mean that I dictate every decision. I don't walk around the house saying what we're going to spend, how we're going to do it. We talk and we build. And I consider everything that's on her heart, her perspective, her position, her philosophy. I'll carefully weave that into my philosophy to figure out what's the best move for this family, keeping all of that in mind. Now, the moment I start to step outside of righteousness and I start to move from a place of emotion instead of analytics, she has every right to snatch that back because submission is a gift.
Mm.
When she sees me laying at the foot of the Father, she has no reason to withhold that from me.
Mm.
The problem is this: men are not found in positions of leadership handling it with integrity. How you gonna lead your wife if you can't balance a checkbook?
Chantel. Talk to me.
It's so crazy that he said how he submit to God and then his wife's, because that's basically what I said earlier. But I love when he said how you gonna lead your wife when you can't balance a checkbook. And that's the part of the conversation that a lot of people don't want to discuss, especially with my channel because I speak mostly to women. I'll find that there are a lot of men over there who cannot balance a checkbook, but over here asking for the submissive wife. And I think if we just, as I said earlier, work on the best version of yourself and trust that whoever God, Jah, Allah, whoever you want to believe in has for you, that person is also working on the best version of their self. So when you guys come together, it's not a, oh, I'm gonna submit, or no, you gotta do this because JD on YouTube said you should like it. But you guys are already at the true best version, ready to be how God created us to be.
Facts. Gabrielle, talk to me.
Well, I'm all for it. Uh, I'm all for submission. Um, what I love about this clip between Fantasia and her husband, even as they were speaking on it, you see the balance and the harmony between the two of them. Um, I think that, as it's already been stated, it's something biblical, which is foundational. And typically, anything biblical is beneficial to us anyway. So the pushback against submission, I could never understand. But typically, dating leads to a lot of emotional trauma, and you see between them this harmony. He even said, coming from his past and his background, the difference in himself, and you can see that she's comfortable within herself, and she has gone through a lot of experiences, of course, and seeing the benefits of submission in her life. So I think the coming together is, you know a beautiful thing.
But
It is.
to even piggyback off Gabrielle's point, I think unfortunately a lot of us get relationship advice from people who have been hurt so much, and they
Mhm.
give the advice from a place of hurt. So if you've experienced all dusty men who aren't good leaders and providers, you are going to pass on the advice to younger girls. Hey, don't trust these men, don't submit because they're all dusties, as opposed to just say, hey, work on the best version of yourself so you can attract a great quality man. And I think that's the disconnect and the issue in our community. We're all coming from a place of hurt, like too much hurt in our
Exactly.
community.
Yo, we gotta fix that. We
And
really gotta
it
fix
feeds
that.
the hookup culture.
hmm That too. That too. So many people don't want to take life seriously. You understand what I'm saying? And then you wake up and you 45 years old and you ain't done nothing with
All
your
this
life.
baggage.
Right, carrying baggage, trying to put all that stuff on somebody else.
Mhm.
I remember watching a broadcast of Kevin Samuels a while back, and he was talking. I think the lady was like 21 or 22, and she was like, "Yo, my aunties and my mama and them, they telling me to go to college, don't get no, don't worry about a man. I want to be a mother and a wife. Like, forget what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? What would you suggest I do?" And Kevin was like, "Yo, get away from them." You understand what I'm saying? Get away from them. Do what you're supposed to do. If you want to go to college, that's fine, but you can still go to college, focus on a relationship, because sometimes we will keep our own flesh and blood back from producing a legacy and getting married and children. I noticed you took yourself off mute. Go ahead, Gabrielle.
No, it's funny that you just go into the legacy portion. So many people are missing out on generational wealth. Like it goes so much further than the surface of just dating. You know, there's an echo chamber uh, that people get stuck in, and they don't realize within this hookup culture, hearing things, oh, sex is just sex. There's nothing wrong with shacking up, or you need to shack up. You need to, almost test drive a person before marrying them. And all this stuff just rolls into each other as baggage, and it's toxic.
Even the advice of don't get married, don't
Oh my gosh, that's
settle
a
down
big
too
one.
young. It's like,
Forget it.
because if you're gonna tell a young lady don't settle down too young, enjoy your 20s, you're encouraging her to be promiscuous. Like, let us be
And let
honest.
her eggs die away
Exactly.
so
And
she
get
can
all the
buy some later.
ex- and freeze them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy because it seems like just because maybe they felt the way in their life that they want to project that onto you. But I'm telling y'all, if anybody is watching this on the replay, and if somebody is telling you don't get married too young, right? 21, 22, 23 is too young. Don't.
It's true.
I'm gonna hit it again. Losers, man. Don't
Hmm.
listen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell y'all a story. There's this lady that works on the same floor that I work in. We work for the same organization. She just works in a different section, right? And she is one of our non-melanated sisters, right? 23 years old, and I'm telling that I got her permission to tell this story, by the way. So 23 years old, right? And she said that, a lot of people were saying, I'm too young to get married. And I'm like, why would they tell you that? Well, something I should enjoy my 20s. I said, if you and your dude are doing good, you about to graduate, he graduated, go ahead and do the doggone thing because you not missing nothing out here. A lot of people think that they'll miss out on something. But really, if you think you're missing out on the front end, you're really going to end up missing out on the back end. You understand what I'm saying? So why not think that you're missing out on the front end and then you get everything the whole time? You understand what I'm saying? Instead of while some of us might be married for 20 years, they could be married for 60 years. You understand what I'm saying? And sit back and enjoy the fruits of her labor. But I said, you know what? Let me just dig a little bit deeper. I said, you seem like a well-rounded young lady, right? I'm pretty sure you got some white friends for sure, and you got some black friends for sure too, right? And she was like, yeah, you're absolutely right. And I said, well, how many white friends like can you actually call a friend? Like you can call them anytime. She said it's about 5 of them, right? I said, how many of them are married or in long-term relationships? She was like, well, 3 of them are married, and 2 of them just got out of a long-term relationship. They were engaged, but they started dealing with somebody else, right? And back out there. And I said, huh? All of your and they're all of them around about the same age. I think she said the oldest one was like 25, 26, somewhere around there. So then I asked her about her black female friends. I said, how many black female friends do you have that you could really consider friends that you can, talk to about anything? She said, I got about the same, 4 or 5. And I said, well, how many of your black female friends are are either married, engaged, or in a long relationship? Do y'all want to know what she said? Yeah, y'all
Is
want
it
to guess?
none? I'm gonna guess
None.
0.
None. And then she said some of them were even a little bit older in their late 20s. You understand what I'm saying? 27, 28. Too many people think that, oh, well, I'm gonna just blow my 20s, or whatever, right? And men and women, but then they get to 30 and think they're gonna snap their finger, and this dude, knight in shining armor is just gonna fall out of the air. What do y'all think about that?
I think the reason they tell young girls not to get married too young is so because you're not mature enough. However, like they don't look at the possibility of maturing with your mates. Who is best to mature with than the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, right? But they want them to go. It's like this culture is very individualistic. They think of just me, myself, and I, and then the next person can just we can just come together. They don't think of like community and growing together and building together. They just think of this is mine, this is yours, let's combine it. But I tell every single young girl I meet, like, I'm like, listen, you're 24, you will be stupid if I'm telling you this and you get to 30 and you're not, like, at least, if not married, but at least have some kind of understanding or being courted or something. Because then that's like, that's why I'm also so open with my story, because I realized that, wow, I was lied to. That whole enjoy your 20s, focus on your education, focus on your career, that was a huge lie.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I feel you. What do you think, Gabrielle?
Oh boy. Yeah. Um, it's like you get walked off the cliff with a smile. Um, really, and it's funny because you don't even know it's happening. You know, you don't even realize as you're falling and tipping over said cliff. You know, it's really not until you've already landed, and that's when it hits. Oh wait, shoot! Good relationships don't exactly fall out of the sky. And it's almost like that's what people are saying. So it's not that you must pursue it aggressively per se in your 20s, but what I would advise is if it does come to you, a person wouldn't have that interaction with you. You wouldn't even vibe with someone like that if you weren't at least on a level that's workable. And like Chantel mentioned, you can go and grow together moving forward, and there's so much you can build along the way. And they miss out on that. Instead, they're racking up debt, which they have to work like an oxen to pay off. Okay. And that further adds to the stress and the misery. And then you want to throw in biological clock starts ticking. Yeah. You got walked off a cliff
Mm.
I love that you
My
said with
lord.
a smile. She
with a
got walked off with
smile,
a smile.
with a smile.
Good God. But and I think the person that's leading you off the cliff is probably smiling a little bit too. You understand what I'm saying? And another thing too. Um, Sometimes the same old stuff gotta get old. You understand what I'm saying? Going on dates and it's not going anywhere. Uh, Spending all this money. Listen, I'm speaking for the fellas right now. Dating ain't cheap. You understand what I'm saying? Dating is not cheap. It could be a little bit cheaper sometimes, but you got some, not all, not all, not all, not all. It's a lot of pressure to try to impress a lady, right? It's a lot of pressure to get that lady on your arm permanently because she gets so much attention elsewhere. She gets so much validation elsewhere. You understand what I'm saying? And then, sometimes people just make it hard for no reason. I told y'all I was coming with my exhibits today, right? I got another exhibit, and I want y'all to see this, right? And we just gonna watch it. I ain't got nothing to say right now. We're just gonna watch it. I want y'all to get ready because this is something that I've never seen before in my life. All right, let me see. I'm screen that.
Leadership and your intelligence. All right. Daddy could not be more proud.
All right, let me read what it says if y'all can't see it. This was the dopest thing I ever saw a father do. Black fathers matter. I agree. I'm thankful for that part. Black fathers matter and black fathers are winning. Daddy did it first. All right, here we go.
Of your eighth grade graduation and how hard you worked and your scholarship and
Eighth
your
grade.
leadership and your intelligence. And I knew from the time you were in your mother's womb that you would be doing exactly what you're doing and exactly what you're going to do. So I feel that my commitment to you should be every time you make another achievement like this and get another degree and another certificate, Daddy's going to get you a diamond.
All right.
Look
So you will get a, hey,
Look at the diamond, y'all.
listen,
I ain't even got one.
Daddy wants to introduce you to diamonds so that if anybody else does, you're not impressed because Daddy did it first. Okay? So I got you 3 diamonds. You're the big one in the middle. The other 2 is your brother and your sister to remind you to be their leader. Okay? Daddy loves you.
Love you.
Here, baby. Now stop stealing your sister's stuff.
Bling,
Bling, bling, bling, bling. Hey, bling. Daddy did it first, baby. Nobody else. Nobody else.
You should have warned somebody. I'm glad I ain't put no lashes on.
Lord have mercy.
I mean, I'm a thug. Oh, I got these damn crying.
Gabrielle, talk to me. Talk to me, Gabrielle. Come on with it.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry. I'm a little, boy. Um, yeah, I wish that there was a lot more of this. I think it's so commendable what he did, so heartfelt, and you feel the love, and she feels the love, and that's important. That daddy-daughter relationship, that father-daughter relationship, that's the foundation for her future and her life and her relationships. And showing her that honor and that respect and teaching her that. What I love is that he sets the standard, a clear standard, instead of her having to feel through the dark and learn on her own. He's guiding her and literally showing her. And I think the lesson here is don't leave daddy's side, don't leave the kingdom unless a man can do the same or better. And I think that's really important. And I think it's critical almost for a young girl's self-confidence and her esteem, because that's critical in relationships. There's so many broken women, so many lost women. And I think this is important. It makes it clear, hey, this is what you look for and don't settle for less. I love it.
I can dig it. Chantel, talk to me.
So I agree with everything that Gabrielle says. A father's love is important. A father should guide the young lady, so she doesn't, go out and try to seek the validation. However, that video to me, I don't know. I don't know. It was giving me some kind of like, wait, nah, vibe because maybe it's just how I was perceiving it. Him getting like, I don't know, him getting on his knees and proposing is like, I don't know. Maybe I was maybe hey, we can say maybe I'm just perverted and he didn't mean it like that. But to me it kind of gave like, incense, kind of like, hey, yeah, this is not appropriate vibe. Like, go ahead.
You know what it reminded me of? Um, there's well, there's different traditions, but at a sweet 16, when the girl has her slippers or a sandal or sneakers on, and then her dad comes and kneels down and changes her shoe and puts on a heel for her. So I saw it as him trying his best to do something endearing for his
Yeah.
daughter, and to shower her with love. And coming from um, a man like himself, where we see they're typically emotionally unavailable and
Mhm.
they're
Mhm.
afraid to
Mhm.
connect with their emotions, much less to express it and publicly. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I can and what I see what he was trying to do, because as you said, a father's love is important. He's trying to set the standard, like, hey, this is how you're treated. Kind of like daddy daughter dance, where the dad will come, take her out, open the door, show her this is how you a man should treat you. This is how he walks on the outside of the street. I think that's the father's job, to show a woman how men should be treated. However, in that clip, I think it was kind of like a reach, like, and maybe his intentions were pure. I'm pretty sure his intentions were pure, not even maybe, I'm pretty sure his intentions were pure, but I think it was just done because in the black community we don't know that, okay, this is how, because a father can show you how a man is supposed to treat you without treating you like his woman, if that makes sense. And I that's how I interpreted the video. Like, he was trying to treat his daughter like, I am your man, and this is how every man is supposed to treat you, as opposed to, I am a man, and this is how a man should treat you, if that makes sense. But then again, maybe it's just me. Maybe I was just having in my perverted eyes. Maybe it was just.
So listen, I agree 100% with some of the things both of y'all said. Okay, did y'all get that? I totally agree with some of the things that both of y'all said. Right. So I like the fact of the gesture and the meaning behind it. What I did not like was him saying, "I'm giving you diamonds, so if somebody else try to give you diamonds, you're not impressed." I get what he's saying, right? But it's like it's almost like there was an undertone of nobody else's diamonds are going to be as good as mine. You understand what I'm saying? I think it would have been better, or the message would have, it got across to her just fine. But my first time seeing this, I was like, I feel it, but it was just something that was just like a thorn poking me about it. If he had a said, "I'm giving you diamonds, I worked for this, right? You earned it. I'm giving you this as a reward, but I worked for this, right? And I'm giving you this as a symbol so you can know that this is the standard, right? Not, oh, you're not gonna be impressed. You understand what I'm saying? Because a man is gonna work for that ring. You know what I'm saying? Yo, your boy likes jewelry, right? I like jewelry. I have a good taste in jewelry. Jewelry ain't cheap. It's not. If you want to get the good stuff, and my lady, when that time comes, she only gonna get the best. You understand what I'm saying? But it's not gonna be a situation where I'm spending $200,000 on a ring because, well, my daddy spent $100,000 on this ring, and if you ain't spend $100,000, then this ring ain't good enough. Maybe she'll find a good man that maybe doesn't have the money to spend right then. And I didn't really get I didn't really look at the ring that much, but it just seems like, yo, I'm gonna give this to you now, so when another dude come around, it ain't gonna mean nothing to you. Go ahead, Gabrielle.
So I just want to chime in another perspective,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and that being, uh, how do we say, hot girl summer behavior, thoughting, tricking. What I took from what he was saying wasn't so much um, that other guys have to compete, that it's like a value-based thing, as much as it's to encourage her not to compromise herself.
Mm.
So him saying, you know, so you won't be impressed, it's so that she can't be bought, so that she does focus more on character and the person who is, you know, to court her and to honor her and respect her. But I do see how you could see it your way as well.
Because I can see Gabrielle's perspective too.
Mm.
Because if a man is to, like, a young lady who didn't receive diamonds from her dad or didn't receive validation from her dad, right? Let's take it away from the diamonds, because a lot of us did not receive that love and validation from our dads because he wasn't there, right? And we go out now in the dating scene and we got the first validation from a man, and that's like, oh my gosh, this is brand new to me. And then all of a sudden all of a sudden we're craving that validation because we're like, oh my gosh, this feels good, because we didn't get it, we're not used to it from when we were younger. So then now you find us on social media showing our titties, right? We're on social media taking pictures at an angle because that validation is missing. So I understand Gabrielle's point. So thank you for that perspective, because I saw it just like JD, or it's like, he's creating an entitled daughter, like, oh, my daddy bought me this diamond, so you should buy. Which there are women out there like that, right? It's like, oh, my daddy paid for my Benz, so you should buy me a Range Rover or some BS like that, right? So yeah, I can see both perspective. We can only hope that, I think, but then I do think too, a lot of us in the Black community, as we said earlier, we're so hurt, so we tend to only see either one or two extremes. We never see, like, okay, here's one possibility, here's another. We just see from our perspective and we're unable to see another.
Mm. Yo, that's deep right there. That's
A
really deep.
man is not a financial plan.
So,
He's not a
there,
step ladder.
there you go. And see that's kind of the undertone, that I got from this, right? But we absolutely need more of this in the Black community.
Hmm.
Definitely. We could pick it apart all day long, right? But I think his intentions were pure. It's parts of it that I thought were a little bit cringy. Y'all saw what I was doing there when I kept pulling it back just a little bit. Don't they? Y'all saw it. Don't act like y'all didn't see it. I know y'all saw it. I know y'all saw it. But I think that it gives the right message, but it also starts to give the message about
Here comes the money. Money, money,
yo, my father, he came with the bread, so you gonna have to level up. If you ain't coming with the bread, son, then So it could be. I see it both ways, but absolutely, this is a good thing to where it will teach her to look for somebody that's dating with intentions, right? Somebody that wants to court rather than date. If y'all are just joining us, we are almost out of time. Yo, I was wondering if somebody was gonna get it. Shane O'Mac, there it is, man. I was wondering if somebody was gonna get it. But if y'all are just joining us, our time is just about up. And I want to thank Chantel and Gabrielle for joining us. But at the top of the broadcast, and if y'all just joined us, watch the replay, please. Dating is a waste of time, right? To me, dating is a waste of time, especially when you get of a certain age, right? Especially when you've been through some things and you've gone through therapy, right? And you know who you are, you're self aware, all of this stuff, right? We didn't get Gabrielle's opinion on that. What do you think? Is dating a waste of time? Dating versus courting? What do you think?
Dating versus courting. I most definitely think it's a waste of time. Um, I think random hookups leads to emotional trauma, which then snowballs into baggage that you then drag and carry like Santa Claus, delivering your junk, spreading your trash, okay? And possibly even traumatizing other people because hurt people hurt people. I think it's a convenient excuse when you're seeking to buy time. Um, but I think it's important to be intentional about yourself. And so if you find that you're in a time where maybe you're not ready to be serious or to commit, it's best to take the responsible route and get to know yourself. That doesn't mean you cut yourself off from people. You can still socialize, but dating for the purpose of just shacking up, hooking up, I think that lusty energy you need to work out because if you actually want to commit to someone in the future, who wants to commit to someone who doesn't have self-control? And self-control and discipline carries over into other things, right? So how you do the small things is how you do the little things. So I say courtship all the way, date with intention. That's what courtship is, dating with intention and going in, not just killing time with someone. A lot of people are just wasting time, and that's trauma, that's codependency. It's a lot of things. But I say work on you. You can socialize. Like I said, have friends. That's a great way to meet people, to build relationships, to get to know yourself because you're going to change along the way. But courtship all the way. I'm all about it. I think dating is a waste of time. I don't think we need to be boyfriend and girlfriend for 5 and 10. There are people having 12-year anniversaries. What are we doing? What's the holdup? And I tell women all the time, you need to leave a zero for a hero. It just is what it is because you start to get comfortable. And when that time keeps going and going and going, more attachments are forming, and people say, oh, but I got to work it out. No, no, no. If you're not married, there's nothing to work out here. What are we doing? And especially for women who are nurturers, yeah, if he's not showing you he has a vision and a plan, that's why you're increasingly feeling sad. That's why it's triggering all kinds of mess with your self-worth. And here you are settling and settling and settling. No, absolutely not. So if you see someone's not on the same page as you, I say to heck with dating, to heck with these giving off these boyfriend vibes, girlfriend vibes. No, no, no. We're going to date with intention, spend purposeful time, and not be going through these games. No, no.
I have a question for you guys.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So I agree 100%. Dating is just a complete waste of time. And I remember when I started like paying attention to my relationship patterns, I realized that no one taught me how to date. Like no, like how just go out there and just say, I have a boyfriend now, right? No one taught me what do you do with your boyfriend, right? Do you guys think that dating is appropriate for teenagers, like 15, 16-year-olds?
Gabrielle, I'm gonna let you start with that one.
Oh boy. Okay. Um, as far as teenagers go, my thing is, and young people are going to do whatever they want to do, which is why I think it's so important young people have mentors. And it's important for them to have hobbies because typically the kids who are hooking up are the ones who have a lot of free time to themselves. I don't really encourage dating per se, but I'm also not against if they, because you have people who they meet in high school and they're on forever and they're good. and they stay together, it works out. Who am I to say no? But typically for teenagers, I think they're still developing within themselves, and should take that time exploring themselves. So when they go into their 20s, they can meet someone, especially if you're going to college. You want to meet someone on campus because that's where people are on your level.
Absolutely, I agree with that. I think that teenagers around that age, I don't think it's anything wrong with slight dating. And what I mean by that is, hey, I like this boy, I like this girl, I want to take her out to the movies, you know what I'm saying? I think that kind of thing is healthy. You know what I'm saying? Now, letting the boyfriend, the girlfriend come over to spend the night, nah, that ain't happening. You understand what I'm saying? Because I've seen some people, back in high school, they was moving a little bit different. Yeah, my boyfriend spent the night. And I'm like, spent the night? I could barely go to the skating ring. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm like, that kind of stuff is a little bit out of order. But I think it's healthy to go ahead and, kind of get that interaction going. But you got to guide them through it. You understand what I'm saying? You don't just get out there. You got to be able to communicate with your children, right? For me, growing up, and for a lot of other people, it was just do what I say. Don't ask me no questions. Do what I say. That's it. You understand what I'm saying? We didn't have the access to as much information as younger people do today. You understand what I'm saying? Because I remember when internet was just a thing, yo, that dial up, whew, you couldn't hardly do anything with it. And then, if you wanted to go look something up, y'all remember when you used to go to the library and they had those little drawers and you had to pull them out and they got the little, you got to go and find out where but yeah, who was trying to do that all the time to go find the book? Now you can just, you understand what I'm saying? And the kids are, oh, wait a minute. Y'all, of course y'all can tell this is me, right? This is my other channel, right? I don't do a lot with it, but I just had to test the super chat thing. I ain't seeing a super chat come through in a minute, so I just had to just test and make sure and see if this thing is on. You feel me? You understand what I'm saying? But yo, I think that you have to get, and it's so much information, and there's so many. I wish we had this when I was growing up. You understand what I'm saying? It's a wealth of information out there, and I think that we need to use that to our advantage, right? To teach our younger better than what we were taught. You know what I'm saying? Because not only is the information available to them, it's available to us too. Go ahead, Chantel.
Because I remember growing up, I was told, don't look at boys, just focus on, and even in the church, they were like, oh, don't look at boys. And then it's not until I got in my 20s, I had to learn how to work with the opposite sex because I didn't have a dad in the household and I didn't have any brothers. So it was just all females, right? So it's like, going back to the video that you showed, at least I think what he was trying to do was to tell her this is what the opposite sex should do. For me, being in my 20s, learning how to work with the opposite sex, that put me at a disadvantage. So I think if in the Black community we would normalize, like, as you said, JB, guided dating. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you guys can hang out, go to the movies, but your door is gonna stay open. Nobody's going upstairs. Nobody's going in
Right.
nobody's room, right? But you guys can hang out and like go get ice cream and stuff. I think in the Black community we're like, oh, don't date until you're married, and that did a huge disadvantage.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I agree 100%. So, y'all, our time is about up. All I do over here is about an hour and a half. Sometimes if it get really good, we might bump up to 2 hours. Y'all will never see a 4 hour live stream over here. I'm just going ahead and be honest with you right now. It's not happening. Your boy be tired and I got a lot of stuff to do. You feel me? But in conclusion, all three of us up here think dating is a waste of time. I think that if we get in the mindset of courting again, right, and dating with intention, I think that we would see more marriages, right? And I think that we would see less trauma in our communities. And those of us that have experienced trauma, get some therapy, you know, because I guarantee you, I am an advocate for therapy. Black men need to go to therapy. Black women need to go to therapy. You will be surprised at how much you can find out about yourself that you didn't even realize was bothering you with therapy. And for those of you that don't know, I'm a pastor too. And I'm not just going to tell you to pray about it. I'm going to tell you to pray about it, then go get therapy, then go pray about it some more. You understand what I'm saying? Because, some people, all I need is Jesus. Look, God gave them the ability and to know how to do that. Use your resources. I promise you, you will be blessed by it. So in conclusion, y'all, dating is a waste of time. Start dating with intention. Ladies, if he's not marriage minded, go ahead and move around. Chantel said what? About date number 3? This ought to be, a discussion. Oh, well, let's just see how it go. Nah, homie, you gotta move around. Same thing with the fellas. You understand what I'm saying? If a lady is on that thotty McThot cake culture,
she belongs to the streets.
Y'all, that is our time. Thank you, Chantel, for joining us. Thank you, Gabrielle, for joining us. If you haven't already, I need y'all to please like the video on the way out. I need y'all to share this video with somebody. And if you have not already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Y'all, we about to vibe for a minute. Y'all ready? We vibing over here. Is this thing on? We out.